Okay, welcome to our first class, and I do film these classes, and the reason I'm filming them right now is because I have a disabled person that wanted to be in the class but can't sit through the class, and so she looks at the videos and does it from home, and then she sends me emails of what she's done, and we talk about it, so it's great. But there's another advantage to this filming, is that if I say something and you say, what did she say about that? And you can't remember, you can go back and look at it, because I'll give you a link to get this on YouTube. And the other thing is, always happens, people miss classes, there's a reason why you can't come. Well, you can look at the video and, so you get your full class, every time from there, okay? So welcome, and welcome to being very brave to go to a drawing class. And I'll tell you that I'm basing this class on a book written by Betty Edwards, okay? Betty Edwards was an instructor at UCLA. I graduated from UCLA. I did not, unfortunately, ever have the chance of having Betty Edwards as a teacher, but I will tell you that at UCLA, the first 2 years as an art major, you were not allowed in the painting classes. Paintings were the top 2 levels of the building. It was an 8-story building, and the top 2 were the painting levels. You had to stay on the lower levels, and you had to take drawing for 2 years. And so I had lots of drawing instructors. And I even had one where we had to draw a skeleton, they had a skeleton in the class. And then we had to draw the muscles on the skeleton, the musculature. And then of course the actual outside skin part of the thing. And then they took us over to the medical building and worked from cadavers. So, they were thorough. They really did a good job. But I think what they were trying to say is that the basics of art is drawing. You've got to start there. And I have certainly noticed that, and that's why I'm offering this class now, because so many of my painting students are lacking drawing skills. And it is always a kind of a barrier to doing something else. So you need to have drawing skills. Betty Edwards' book is available online. You can see I go through and read it all the time. She does a wonderful job. And what she has done is figure out how artists think differently, see differently than normal people. Okay. And what she did was she developed a bunch of things to do to get you to see things the way an artist sees things. And some of these things that we're going to be doing may seem pretty remedial to you, but they're not. They are the basics. They are what you need to know to move on in drawing. And the other thing I ran across, it's a really interesting thing. I just saw this summer. Have you guys heard of Rhodes Scholars?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rhodes Scholars, of course, has trips, but they always have an educational component in the trips. And this is Mark Richard Keene, who is a Rhodes Scholar instructor who teaches drawing. And he wrote this article, and it came out in the Rhodes Scholar Alumni Magazine, and I was just amazed by it. He says there are 10 reasons that you should draw, people should draw. And he says that people who draw have active brain cells. The right hemisphere of your brain is responsible for creativity and imagination, while the left hemisphere is involved in logical tasks. And she uses this left brain, right brain theory in her teaching. As you draw, 80% of your right hemisphere gets activated. When you are drawing, not only do both hemispheres work simultaneously, but they develop their capacities as well. People who draw have sharp memory. Drawing and painting help grow new brain cells by adding synapses to the brain's transmitters, leaving experiences reserved in your brain stronger, more striking, and more accessible. People who draw are more observant and can concentrate better. As Leonardo da Vinci once said, painting embraces all the 10 functions of the eyes, That is to say, darkness, light, body and color, shape and location, distance and closeness, motion and rest. Through such concentration, you can see details around you, your surroundings and your environment. People who draw are better at communicating. Through drawing, you can express various emotions, trains of thought, and collective feelings. You can express what you feel, what you want, and even your perception. Shy people and people with verbal disabilities often find drawing an easier form of communication. People who draw release depression through drawing. Drawing is an art with a healing power. It produces positive brain chemistry like serotonin, endorphins, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Can't say it. Norepinephrine. Okay. People who draw have strong motor skills. Many parents introduce children to drawing at a very tender age. We start our kids off drawing, even before they can hold pencils. So children develop strong motor skills because they are manipulating and gripping different devices like pencils, charcoals, or brushes with their hands. Their working capacity improves, and therefore, even adults increase their motor skills through drawing. So people who draw have improved self-esteem. If you draw something and you like it, you may want to hang it on the wall. This provides satisfaction and stimulates your move forward. People who draw reduce their stress through drawing. It is relaxing and a fruitful distraction from everyday chores. People who draw often express themselves differently. People who draw express themselves in a unique manner and may have different take on the world. And most importantly, people that draw have fun. All you need is a paper and a pencil. Draw something, unwrap yourself, stimulate your brain cells, and boost your energy. So that was his take. And then at the bottom, he says, I don't know if he did this, but he put, we retain 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see and hear, 50%, 30% of what we see, and then 50% of what we see and hear. So that combines. 70% of what we discuss with others, 80% of what we personally experience, and 95% of what we draw.
Wow.
So I know, is that amazing? I thought that was a really interesting little thing. So we are going to start, and I've given you a materials list, and there aren't a lot of materials involved in drawing, but I've added some things on. Basically, a good old number 2 pencil and a piece of paper, printer paper, are pretty good. Number 2 pencils I love. They're great. They do a good job of giving different values on the page. But I did add some more things to the list. There are some special drawing pencils that we're going to add in, and we're going to do some graphite, work with graphite. So we've got some other things going on. And all of these things are very easy to get and not very expensive. What Betty Edwards says is the skills you need to have. I've written them on the board behind me. 5 basic skills: the perception of edges, the perception of spaces, the perception of relationships, the perception of lights and shadows, and the perception of the whole, or the gestalt. So those are what we're going to be covering in this class, and I'll talk about each of those different perceptions as we approach each of them. So we're going to start off. This is going to be hard to start with, I'll tell you right now, because we're going to do a pre-instruction drawings. And this is important because you got to know where you started from, and so that when you end this class, you're going to see what progress you've made. And so we're going to do 3 pre-instruction drawings. Did everyone bring a little mirror with you?
Yeah.
You know, actually, you can probably use your cell phone.
Yeah.
You know, that would work. So I guess this was written before cell phones became ubiquitous. But, yeah, you can use your cell phone, just click it so that it doesn't keep, I can never get that to stop clicking off, but there is a way that you can do it on there, but probably people know that. So, anyway, so we're gonna start there, and this is gonna probably take maybe an hour and a half. And I'm gonna give you some instructions before we start each of the different sections. You need a number 2 pencil. You should have several different, either a pad like that or several different pieces of computer paper. I don't know where, oh, here it is.
Eraser out of the car because it's in there.
Okay, so I have extra computer paper here. And you should have a board that you're working on, or you can use your pad if that's all you have right now, that's okay. And you should tape the paper down so it doesn't move on you to whatever pad you're working on. Okay, and I'm going to encourage you to use the computer paper for this particular thing, not your drawing paper. You want to save that drawing paper for your more able things. Okay? Okay. Okay. Everybody set? Okay, the first thing you're going to do is use your cell phone or your mirror if you have one, and you're going to draw a self-portrait of yourself. And let's see what I'm going to do that. Exercise 1.
Yeah, if you have a better picture on your phone of you than you are now.
You can do that. That's okay. Okay. For your first drawing, I want you to sit at arm's length with your board on your lap, or whatever you're drawing on your lap, kind of like this. So you're kind of like this, in your arm's length, and you got your whatever you're drawing next to you. And then look at the reflection of yourself and draw your self-portrait. Okay? Simple as that. Just do to the best of your ability right now. Go ahead. Okay, I think everybody's almost done. I want to take just a minute and talk about left brain, right brain, because one of the things we're working on here is trying to get into right brain mode. And left brain is, the left part of your brain deals with language, it deals with mathematics, it deals with logical thinking, and it is what we are taught in our schools. That most of what we get in our schools is aimed at our left brain, okay? It was thought at one time that the left brain was really the smartest part of the brain, that it saw everything more accurately, and the right brain was just kind of there. Well, they did a lot of research and they found out that no, the right brain is just as important as the left brain, but it deals in a different mode of thinking. It deals with images, it deals with music, it deals with, could be dance, all of those things that are kind of part of the arts are in the right brain, in part of your brain. We need our whole brain, there's no doubt about that, but we have kind of not given the right brain as much attention as we should, most of the time. When we're in here, all of the activities that we're going to be doing in here are aimed at engaging your right brain you know, because that's where the ability to draw and do art and things like that reside. When I play music, it's nice to have that little music in there, but there's a reason for it. Music engages your right brain. If it's not music with words, if it's words that you are following, that doesn't work. But if it's like music, just music, it engages your right brain. Now, the thing that happens when you're working in your right brain, a lot of times you lose track of time. You have no idea how long you spent at it. And that's kind of typical of right brain activity. The one thing that when I do artwork, a lot of times I get up, if I'm really, kind of call it in the zone, it's kind of like a runner. When they get in the zone, they talk about being in the zone. You lose all track of time, and when you're done, you feel like you've been on vacation. You know, it's really an interesting thing. I have to say that that's the way I feel after I really get into something. So, we need both parts of our brain, but the problem is the left brain is really dominant, and it will try to take over what the right brain does. So you have to fight that, you know, in doing this. You have to kind of get back into the mode of right brain activity. So when you're talking, I love people talking and things like that, but if you're talking during this, you are engaging your left brain. So it is interfering with what you're doing here. So usually my art classes are pretty quiet because people are focusing on what they're doing. You know, I'm just kind of letting you know that. I'm not, no complaints about, I love people to talk and enjoy each other, but that just is, that interferes with the right brain activity. Okay, now, what I want you to do with this drawing right now is title it and date it and sign it. And usually we do that as artists in the lower right-hand corner. So that's the typical way of doing it.
Self-portrait.
That's right. Give it a generic name.
Oh, you're right, it's 2, I put down 1. 2, 4.
Okay, now put that drawing aside and pull out another piece of paper. And what I want you to do on this one is, to the best of your ability, draw a person from memory, okay? Yeah, it could be someone you know, or it could be someone from the past, or it could be a photo that you've seen of someone. But just do the best you can to do that picture from memory. Okay.
Boy, that's going to be hard. That's right.
Great. Okay, everybody has their format drawn on the paper, and you have your face. What I want you to do is make a copy of one side of this. And if you're a right-hander, do the left side of that page. And if you're a right-hander, if you're left-handed, use the right side of the page. And I want you to just do half of it, okay? And as you draw it, kind of think about what you're drawing. You could name the things, the parts, like forehead, nose, mouth, mentally in your head. And then go to the opposite side and draw the missing profile, okay, on the other side. And if you experience some confusion or conflict, make observations. How did I solve the problem? Think about that. What you're doing, what is happening that you're able to correct. When you finish the face exercise, make another format on your page and start another exercise, one in which you draw a horrible face, a gargoyle, a ghoulish face, a witch, or monster. And you can even add wrinkles, moles, double chins, etc. So ask yourself if it was easier the second time to do this. This is a template to download and copy to make your upside down drawing. Make sure you don't turn the drawing right side up. Keep it upside down.